CBS 8 News live at 6:30.
As we come on the air tonight, Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency. Right now, all eyes are on Hurricane Hilary, and we are tracking this storm's every movement as San Diego gets ready for the worst. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Kirsten Holmes.
And I'm Steve Price. The storm is expected to hit as a tropical storm tomorrow, bringing several inches of rain and powerful winds, but we're already starting to see the effects of the storm in parts of the East County. Check out this video sent to us by viewers. Shows lightning lighting up the sky in that area. Conditions expected to get worse overnight and into the morning. Tonight, we have team coverage for you all across our county. Rocio de la Fe live in Mission Beach with how residents are preparing for power outages. Regina Ureta live in the South Bay with concerns over shelters. But we're going to begin tonight with CBS 8 meteorologist Evan Narani in for Sean tonight with what we should expect for the rest of the night. Evan.
Yeah, we have good news and bad news. Good news is that, of course, this storm is gaining speed in terms of how fast it's traveling up the coast. That is good news because it means it will likely pass through quicker and not stall overhead. The bad news is it is still expected to hit San Diego as a tropical storm, which will still pack wind gusts up to 70, 80 miles per hour at times. We're watching that storm currently as a Category 2. As it encounters cooler ocean water, it will drop to a Category 1 hurricane, and then it will drop to a tropical storm by the time we get to about 11 a.m. early tomorrow. Now look at that landfall. Could be right in between Ensenada and San Diego. Some models keep that landfall in San Diego as a tropical storm and then becoming a post-tropical cyclone by the time we get into Sunday late night hours. Now, just because landfall could come between about 4 and 5 p.m. tomorrow does not mean that that storm hasn't already started to show its strength to us. We have some showers popping up across the eastern slopes of the mountains and the deserts. That's the light green toward the eastern half of the map here. A little bit of a wider picture shows you how much rain is just building across areas to the east and to the south of us that are going to continue in our area. As far as watches, warnings, and advisories go, tropical storm watch, flood watch, high wind warning, and that tropical storm watch has actually been upgraded now to a tropical storm warning. So we have a lot more to come in the forecast where we're going to be talking about how much rain, how intense that wind is going to be. It'll be in just a few minutes. Stephen, Kirsten.
Evan, thank you. Things are changing quickly, so to keep up with the very latest forecast and weather alerts while you're on the go, download the CBS 8 app. You can find it at the Google Play or the App Store.
Plus, if it's safe to do so, send us your pictures and your videos of the weather near you. Go to the CBS 8 app, tap on the Near Me section at the bottom of the screen, and then tap the Share with Us button. New tonight, San Diego County is getting ready for heavy rain as Hurricane Hilary inches closer to Southern California.
Showers are starting as early as tonight in some areas. CBS 8's Rocio de la Fe joins us now live from Mission Beach with more on how people in that area are preparing and what SDG&E is now suggesting to do. Rocio.
Well, that's right. SDG&E has already started to reach out to customers and urging them to prepare for potential prolonged outages. That could be hours or that could be days. Again, it all depends on the impact that Hilary has in our region. Now, here in Mission Beach, we all know this is an area that is prone to flooding. I spoke to people who are preparing for the possible impact that the storm could bring here. One local and a tourist I spoke to say they are having a really hard time even believing that we are preparing for a hurricane. It's just so unheard of for our region in general. Now, I also spoke to SDG&E, who says crews are working to respond in the case that the power does go out.
I actually used to live right here on the boardwalk, and there were storms that came through and some flooding. So this is actually going to be very interested to see how bad it gets and how prepared we are.
We've made extensive preparations, understanding that this could cause, with severe rain and heavy winds, it could cause unplanned and potentially prolonged outages. So a few things we've done, we've pre-staged equipment and upped our crews to ensure that they have the resources available to respond.
Now, SDG&E adds that it is urging customers to think about an emergency plan and what that looks like for you and your family. Also ensure that you have enough supplies, medicine, all the essentials that you and your loved ones need in the case that the power goes out. Again, prolonged outages could be hours or it could be days. It just all depends really at this point. Now, another thing that they're urging is to register for alerts so that in the event that the power goes out, you can check how your region is doing, any power outages, and you can do so by going online at scgne.com/outages. Back to you guys in studio.
Rocio, thank you. Now, earlier today, Governor Gavin Newsom visited the city's Emergency Operations Center, that's in Kearney Mesa, and announced a state of emergency for much of Southern California. Mayor Todd Gloria held another update today and said an additional 192 shelter beds are being offered to those in need.
The city of San Diego has activated our inclement weather shelter system. That's almost 200 additional shelter beds that are available for homeless San Diegans to come off the streets during this storm event.
The mayor says he has been in communication with the governor of Baja, and they're going to be supporting each other with help as needed. Local boaters also getting ready for Hilary's arrival.
Yeah, right now the San Diego Coast Guard is doing what they can to make sure people at sea are safe. The officer in charge tells us that crews have been out in the water these past few days. They're conducting welfare checks on boats that are anchored outside of protected areas. He says they'll have a rescue crew ready to go, but they really just want everyone to stay out of the water during this storm.
We will have a rescue crew ready to respond at any moment, but we do urge folks and want to warn them that during the height of the storm, it could become a point where we are unable to get underway due to the either the size of the season swells or the excess wind. So we might not be able to get out to them immediately. So that's why we do not want anyone on the water.
The Coast Guard also says anyone in a boat in an unprotected area should get that boat into a protected anchorage as soon as possible. Tonight, people in the South County are scrambling to find essentials like sandbags. They're afraid that Hilary could cause severe damage in their area.
Some are ready to take shelter. Others don't have that option, though. CBS 8's Regina Ureta live now in Chula Vista, where people and nonprofits out there have been preparing for the worst. Regina.
Yeah, Steve, and you can actually see we're at one of the locations here in Chula Vista where they were distributing out sandbags. Right now you can see this sign says there are no more sandbags. People have been coming up to us trying to figure out where's the nearest distribution place where they can get sandbags, and we've been trying to help them get them the updates. But so far this has been happening all over South County, and it's because people are afraid that these widespread rains could definitely damage their houses.
Hilary and its impacts are expected to slam San Diego as early as Sunday. Families in Imperial Beach have experienced flooding before, but they fear a tropical storm could devastate their house.
I'm worried about the back of my property.
We're concerned and we're just trying to prepare and be cautious.
My apartment does kind of tend to flood because we're just got dips in the construction.
It's why dozens of cars lined up outside of IB's City Hall this morning. They were hoping to take advantage of the free sandbags. When they arrived, the sandbags had already run out.
Well, it looks like everyone had a rush on it, so the city, I guess we just found out they can't get any more sand.
Officials have sent out a warning informing people about the storm and its impacts. They advise locals to stay home and shelter. But for those living unhoused in Chula Vista,
what happens if trees fall? What happens if people's encampments get blown away? What happens if the areas people are staying in get flooded, right? So it really is a life and death scenario.
Nonprofits are working overtime to bring services to people living unhoused. As for those with shelter, they have been rushing to stores, stocking up on essentials to avoid leaving the house on Sunday.
Pretty nervous, but I got hope that everything's going to be good. Yeah.
Now, we have been actually giving out information to people about other locations where they're distributing sandbags. If you want a full list, we have that on CBS8.com. Just check on this website, on this story. I mean, for now, reporting live in Chula Vista, I'm Regina Ureta, CBS 8.
Regina, thank you. Today, people living in the Cabo San Lucas area are seeing the aftermath from torrential rains and strong winds. Coming up, the warning in Mexico after the rain there wraps up.
Plus, how the U.S. military is taking precaution ahead of time. We'll be right back.